What's up, everybody? Tyler Brown here at FutureDDS.
Terrell Friday here at FutureDDS.
And today we're going to talk to you all about the top 3 things that we learned going through our second year of dental school, the hardest year.
Let's go. So, for anyone new to the channel, Tom and myself put these videos out to give you guys tips and tricks on how to get into dental school, as well as show a little bit of our experience going through dental school. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, the subscribe button, as well as hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post up new content.
Alright, so summer is over and now we are officially D3s. And now that we had some time over summer, we had some time to reflect and really think about the lessons that we learned while going through the second year of dental school. So we both made lists that we wanted to present to you all today.
My number one thing is you make time for the things that you make a priority. And what I say about that is, this definitely was a time crunch to, do things like these FutureDDS videos. And, we actually had the opportunity to go present at a DIA national conference, as well as, do a keynote online that hopefully some of you guys watched. But it just comes back to the point that the things that you make a priority and things that you make time for, you can still do as long as, again, you make the time, you carve a lane out for that. It's definitely gonna be hard with lab work and doing all these other things, but again, if it's a priority of yours and it's that important and you're that passionate about it, you can make it happen.
And so my first lesson also kind of trails off of what Terrell just said, but what I was thinking was your input will always match your output as far as when in dental school. And I found this to be extremely true, we're not gonna lie to you all. Us making these videos and running this FutureDDS channel definitely took time away from us doing a lot of things within dental school. But because, this is what we love to do, we love to help you all, it was all worth it. And ultimately, it's gonna help us become better dentists, just because we're gaining certain skills that somebody who's not making videos every week might not be obtaining. So just be cognizant of that. I don't know anybody's academic progress or whatever they're going through right now, but if you really do need to really lock in, do that
first and foremost.
Focus on school. I think we were both lucky enough to be in a position where, we had a little bit of leeway, and so we were able to take time to do other things. But it's never worth forgetting why you came to school in the first place, and that is to succeed and become a great dentist.
My number 2 takeaway from second year is you can't get caught up in the negative cycles. Say, for instance, you get a little bit behind on a project because you're studying for a test, or maybe you don't get the grade that you wanted in the test, and now it kind of gets to your head a little bit, especially when you have so many things hitting you back to back to back. One thing you cannot do is just get caught up in that negative cycle. It's very unnatural. It goes against everything that feels comfortable to you, but that's kind of the essence of dental school is, taking these challenges and really attacking them. You might not get that grade. You might not get the A+ that you're expecting to get from undergrad or from your first year at dental school. But the key thing is to just keep going, attack the next problem or attack the next project, and just make sure you're getting better with every day and really striving to be your best on the next thing that's coming up.
So my number 2 lesson was, do not let your introductory exposure to a subject define your confidence within that subject. So what do I mean by that? Second year dental school, at least at our school, we're exposed to a whole bunch of new topics. Fixed pros, movable pros, endo, all these different things that we have never seen before. And I personally found myself approaching these subjects, trying to take everything in and almost feeling discouraged because I wasn't doing as well as I thought I would be. But something that I had to step back and realize is that, in the grand scheme, I might have had 10 hours worth of lecture on a subject. I can't expect to be the best at it yet, And so once I got into that kind of group of things and just trusted the process a little bit more, I think that things became a lot more digestible, and my confidence wasn't taking a hit like it was beforehand. Because you never want to get into a low place where you're just discouraged throughout your entire time at dental school, because then you won't enjoy dental school, and you'll always kind of associate dentistry with this negative feeling that you obtained while you were in dental school. So always stay positive and really remember that this is all new information, and even though some people might seem great at it, they don't really know what's going on either. So don't judge yourself, be happy, and just keep learning.
So number 3, the last thing, I have to say that all of those quotable hardest year of dental school, things that people used to tell me was extremely true. This has probably been the most difficult year of school ever, honestly. And it's funny because I know we probably said this about first year of dental school or dental school as a whole, but this literally tests you and pushes you to the brink. You know, there's people, again, like Tyler said, people that you feel like maybe easing through things or maybe cruising through things, but you just never know. And I guarantee you everyone is going to reach some sort of breaking point going through this, whether it's not being able to pick up a hand skill, not being able to, you know, have that relationship with a teacher in there, especially that they want to go into, whatever it is, you're going to reach some wall that you have to push through in order to get to that next level, which is, you know, being a practicing dentist, and they're really preparing us to get into clinic, you know. So definitely one of the hardest experiences I've ever been through. Can't lie about that, but you know, again, we made it through, and that's the most important part.
Right. And I mean, my number 3 is also kind of rolling off of that. You know, even as Terrell said, it is the hardest year so far. You know, what we do have is resources, and I think that going through our second year, I really wanted to focus and hone in on those resources, because I started to think to myself, you know, everybody's talking about specializing, everybody's talking about residencies. Well, what if you don't want to do any of that? That means that this is your last time to really tap into all of these different resources, being a bunch of doctors who have been practicing in the field for 20, 30, 40 years. You know, take advantage of everybody that you can, and I promise you, you're not a burden to anybody. I mean, of course, there are some of those professors or doctors who don't necessarily want to stay, you know, until 10 p.m. But then again, there are some that do. All that you need to do is reach out and shoot your shot, and honestly just ask them questions. Ask as many questions as possible. And that's, I'm saying, even in class, if you don't want to be the guy always raising your hand, write it down. Shoot that professor an email and go see them after hours. Really take advantage of all the great resources that dental school provides, because don't forget, you paid for this.
Very true. Okay, guys, so we have a bonus takeaway, and Tyler and myself both pretty much agree on this. No matter how difficult it is, how many obstacles you have to attack getting through second year, it definitely is one of the most rewarding experiences. Just saying, you know, being able to look back and say you got through it. All the test blocks, all the projects, the hand skills you had to learn and that were frustrating you till 10 o'clock at night in the lab, everything you had to go through really comes to fruition, and you're really seeing the impact when you get into clinic and you're sitting there and, you know, you're going through an exam, and you know, what we thought was difficult, like perio-probing and making an alginate impression, we do it like a second nature now, you know? So, you know, having that or seeing it in action now, definitely see the greatness and the rewarding nature of all this takeaway and all this hard work you have to go through.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. And I think that, I don't know if anybody, I'm sure everybody has, you know, you work all day. You work all day, you're working hard, and you don't even realize how hard you're working until after the fact. You know, you're laying there in your bed and you just think to yourself like, wow, I really just did that, you know? And I think that happens on a daily basis now in dental school. So this is definitely, you know, the risk of doing those hard 2 years is definitely worth the reward, and we both do agree on that. So everybody just keep your head down and make it to third year. We promise you, you will like it a lot more.
It's like the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, definitely.
You're way closer to it. We'll say that. Yeah.
Definitely. But everybody, those are our lessons from D2 year. We want to thank you all so much for supporting the channel for so long. You know, we're reading all your comments. We literally have an inbox full of video requests, so we're trying to get to them, and we definitely will soon. But if you haven't already, like Terrell said in the earlier part of the video, make sure that you go ahead and hit that like button below. Also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know whenever we post new content. But until next time, see y'all later.
All right, y'all.